Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Scottish Conservative Deputy Leader Meghan Gallagher says that the Scottish Greens need to be sent packing and booted out of government and put back into the extreme fringes where an extreme party belongs to be. Removed from power, removed from public gaze, and given no attention at all to the madness that they are saying. They are a Marxist group, they are hate-filled, they are divisive, and they are damaging, and everything they do turns to absolute mess. They've got no idea. Their incompetency is boundless. Everything they suggest is wrong, and they have failed at every turn. And it's time they went. And there's many, ironically, within the SNP who feel exactly the same as Meghan Gallagher. Isn't it weird how the SNP and the Conservatives both agree on such a strange subject? Unfortunately, of course, Humza has got himself tied to them. He cannot throw them out. He's so closely aligned that their decisions are his decisions. Their thoughts are his thoughts. What they say, he obeys. Let's take a look at this to see why Meghan Gallagher is absolutely right. Here goes. So, Scottish Greens need to be sent back to the extreme fringes of politics, as Humza is urged to listen to Scots and axe them. And it's not just any Scots, it's all of them. It's Labour, it's Conservative, it's Lib Dem, it's Independents, it's half, or if not more than half, of the SNP itself. But it's the people in the street. It's the business owners who want to expand their businesses. It's people who enjoy working and want to keep their jobs. It's people who own cars and want to use them. It's everyone. The Greens are the enemy of everyone. They've alienated everyone. And nobody, bar a few mentally unstable people, ever think that anything the Greens have to say is in any way important. Scottish Tory Deputy Leader Meghan Gallagher will attack the SNP and the Scottish Government for focusing on independence over or other more important issues. And she will call for the coalition with the Scottish Greens to be axed. But Humza won't. They control him. He is so closely aligned to them. You know, their thoughts are his thoughts. Their policies are his policies. When they say, he obeys. And that's how it is. And that's why he can't give them up. Also, the fact that if he did, he'd appear to be wrong. And he's never wrong, is he? Humza has been urged to listen to Scots and axe the Butte House Agreement and send the Scottish Greens back to the extreme fringes of politics. He was also slated for focusing on independence instead of dealing with other issues such as the NHS and schools. Meghan Gallagher will make the accusations during a keynote speech at her party's annual conference in Aberdeen today. She will claim that the SNP executive has no vision for the country's future except to break up the UK and destroy the oil industry. The Butte House agreement between the SNP and the Greens has come under spotlight in recent weeks due to the suspension of veteran nationalist Fergus Ewing, who was handed a week-long punishment by the SNP after voting to sack Lorna Slater due to her shambolic handling of the DRS and of everything else. She's useless at everything. She's got another wheeze coming out this week, hasn't she? Or next week it'll be. And that too will be ridiculed for being absolutely useless because the woman is a buffoon. Anyway, he's called on the First Minister to get rid of the Greens from government. This is Fergus. With former SNP leadership contender Kate Forbes also wanting to end the deal. This is due to concerns over their influence on policy, with unpopular plans being pushed forward by them, including banning gas boilers. Now, this is a party that got so few votes and yet has been given so much power. It's a joke. It's actually anti-democratic, and they need to be removed. They need to stand on their own 2 feet and basically FRO from politics. Miss Gallagher is expected to say, we know that the Greens are anti-business, anti-growth and anti-common sense. And whether it's the deposit return scheme, the gender recognition reform bill, they have no clue what people's priorities are. They're bad news for Scotland, and it's time for the Butte House agreement to come to an end. It is not working. And it isn't. And it is so damaging, and everything the Greens do is wrong. Nothing. Not one single policy. Not one policy they put forward has worked. Or has even got through. And yet they all said, oh, it's a red line, it's a red line. They had so many red lines, and yet they've never walked because ka-ching, money. They love it. They love those high salaries, and they're not giving them up anytime soon. Not for the businesses hammered by the short-term lets legislation, not for the women who no longer feel safe in prisons or in single-sex spaces, and not for rural communities who have waited years for road networks to be completed. So what kind of country will it be if we allow the Greens to continue to shape Scotland's future? Quite right, Meghan. She says our past will be ripped apart, our presence will be a misery, and the next generation of Scots will be pushed all the wrong values. It is past time that Humza Yousaf listened to the growing calls across Scotland and even within his own party. Most of the party members, and we're not talking here like, you know, the MSPs and MPs and the officials. We're talking about the rank and file, the party members in the street. Most of them are anti-Bute House. They're anti-Greens because they see the toxicity of this party. They see the extremism. They see what they are. They are Marxists and they want to destroy everything. They don't want people to have a job or a future because they are absolutely nasty pieces of human filth. And as for what they want to do to children, it's even worse, and it gets hard to think, but it's even worse than what the SNP treat children. The Bute House, she carries on. The Bute House agreement needs ripped up. Patrick Harvey and Lorna Slater need to be kicked out of government. The Greens need to be sent back to the extreme fringes of politics where they belong. Ms Gallagher will also outline a number of new Scottish Tory policies. We don't care. Blah, 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 blah. That's just politicking, not fuss with that. I'm only talking here about them coming up with getting rid of the Greens, which I think. And then she's just highlighting some of the problems wrong with the SNP, which is fine, fair enough. The promises they've made and the promises they've bust. And there's many of them. Then just finished off with an SNP spokesman tries to respond, and it's Scotland have paid a heavy price for 14 years of Tory chaos. No, it's paid a heavy price for 17 years of SNP mismanagement, misrule, corruption, complete stupidity and lunacy in terms of policies. And for the last nearly 3 years, its adherence to the madcap schemes of the irrational, stupid, evil, incompetent buffoonery of Lorna Slater and Patrick Harvey, the deviant. Coming up. So it seems the only people who really want the Greens in power are the Greens themselves. Oh, and Humza Yousaf, a man who can now not throw them out in case it makes him look like a complete and utter moron. I think that ship sailed, doesn't it? Anyway, we'll finish there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And I will speak to you later. Bye.